Okay, I do know somebody. That owns a shop that doesn't have a truck. You come,
Hey, I think it's noon, so I will call the meeting to order. Has everyone signed? Lucy, you got it.
Yes, I have. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Any additions, changes? Take that as approval of the agenda. Make a motion to approve.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any citizens' comments? Got one, I think.
Yes, we.
Yes, sir.
Ms.
So
Kelly.
I'm Lee Kelly with Chapter 1326 of the Experimental Aircraft Association, with tenants in this neighborhood here. This is a month that has 5 Thursdays in it, which means that it is the month where we have a social meeting on the 5th Thursday. And this month, we will be hosting Flagship Detroit Foundation, who will be doing tours of the DC-3 and talking about the history of the aircraft, their foundation, the benefits of membership in their foundation. And we will be serving, we're having a burger burn, so we've got burgers and dogs and the trimmings. We ask for a modest donation to defray the cost, but it's up to people to contribute. But I think you should come out and see the airplane. We start at 5:30 because, you know, twilight is coming sooner and sooner and sooner. And so we need to have light for the airplane. So come at 5:30, get a little tour, you know, get something to eat and listen to Flagship Detroit Foundation talk about the history of the aircraft and what they do and how to get involved with it.
Great. So is it
Thursday, no, October 30th at 5:30. And don't be late if you want a tour because sunset is at 6 and they'll start losing the light. There's no lights inside the airplane.
so it's next Thursday
It's like a week from
from
today.
today? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And then our hangar breakfast is this Saturday, day after tomorrow. So if you've never tried our hangar breakfast, please come out and give it a try because people fly in from far away to get, because we have good food.
Right.
And Lee, you might, we started building an airplane too, after the hangar breakfast.
You're absolutely right. There's an RV6 project that we're in discussion about how to get started building that.
So we've already
Finish
kind of
building
done,
that.
we've done a parts inventory. We're working on tools and sourcing and getting organized and so we're gonna do it after every hangar breakfast, do a build there too.
So there will
Which is
be,
cool. So we're
after the
expanding the
breakfast.
chapter to that.
then people adjourn over to the other side of the hangar where the project is to start organized to work on that project.
And we're planning to get youth involved, have some high schools out, do build days with us and all kinds of cool stuff. So the really neat thing the EHF is expanding to the building and airplanes for educational purposes.
And I put the application form in the mail to the Secretary of State on Friday. We're going to form a new nonprofit entity that we're going to get 501c3 so that we can accept charitable donations. So that's the first step. Get the program from the state.
That's great. What about the students that, I guess it's Central, that take the aeronautics class in the.
Aviation maintenance side.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, their board meeting is actually tonight. I'm going to that. Are you going to that? Yep.
Yep.
So we're part of the board for that too.
Okay.
And so yeah, we'll give Mr. Daniels an update on this bill. So he knows and we'll get an update on what he's got going on. So absolutely, those are the kinds of students who we would have involved in both days.
Because at Shelbyville Central High School, their aerospace program focuses on maintenance. All other high schools in the state of Tennessee, they focus on pro-pilot, but Bedford County wanted maintenance.
Yep.
And
They have an airplane and a couple engines
Yep.
in their shop that they work on with the kids. So yeah, we'll get them involved in this bill too.
Yeah, I must say, if you haven't been, I would encourage you to go take a tour at Central of the vocational education area because they do have an airplane,
Mhm.
a real airplane and some airplane engines. In
If
there.
anybody wants to come, you can come today. It's
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock.
It's impressive. It is impressive, all that they've got going on.
Mr. Daniels, the teacher they found, is fantastic. He's been in aviation maintenance for his whole career, and this is now his kind of retirement give back, and he gives back. Like everything they have, he's found or paid for out of his own pocket.
Mike, do you think we ought to get names for people who think that they might want to come tonight and hand it to them so they know who to expect?
If anybody thinks they might want to come tonight, let me know as we're leaving, as after the meeting, and they can meet me there. And it's 4 o'clock to like 7 o'clock today.
Because you have to do a visitor's badge. It is a school.
Yeah, and it's at the Shelbyville Central High School Annex Building. Whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's behind TCAT. It's like when you go in the TCAT parking lot, if you go over to the left side, the west side of the TCAT building, go around, and there's a building in the back there. And that's where they do the workforce development classes. They've got the commercial kitchen out there for their culinary program. So it's not at the high school itself. It's just right around behind the TCAT building.
Great.
I appreciate the invitation. Several of us at the table have to be at other city meetings tonight. Otherwise, we might come.
Well, if you ever want to do
What was the
another
date and time on that?
Yeah. If y'all ever want to go, I can arrange that another time. If anybody ever does want to do that. I can set that up with the teacher, Mr. Daniels, and go with y'all and get him to give you a further tour. I'd be happy to do that. And he would love that post. And
Right.
wants to.
Thank you.
Okay, any others? Okay, minutes have been circulated. Everyone had a chance to review those. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Ask for a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Paul,
Wanted to bring out this week, and I've alluded to these in the past, and there's a couple of softwares that we use here at the airport for tracking information. And one of the new features that's come out of one of these is I thought was interesting to bring out, but I've got both of them pulled up so that we can bring those out and pull them up. But this was one particular one that's been added to the software, and I'm hoping this works properly. There it goes. So there is a way to do a graphical representation of what recent trips have been logged in at the airport from coming and going. So this is all that happened in September. So these are all the different locations that, as you can see,
Oh, wow.
that gives you an idea of where.
Houston.
Yep. So that it can give you an idea that, I mean, you're looking at New York, you're looking at all over. I mean, it just gives you how much we can properly track what's going on at the airport, that we keep up with it. And if I expanded our operations, I mean, of course, if I expanded the timeline, you'll see them all the way out, being able to go to Arizona from here and things like that, nonstop, things of that nature. But you'll see that because of our central location, 500 nautical miles is kind of where is our sweet spot in a way, is what we use. But you'll find that we have them coming from all over, if I can get this to cooperate with me again. And so these are some of the other departures. If you can see, of course, Chattanooga is one of the top ones which you go to in Tri-Cities. This is downtown Island and Knoxville. This is one I think most everybody would just soon be on that trip, and that's ECP is Panama City. So I think that
right there tonight is just a perfect one.
yeah. So I imagine if you stick your thumb out on the runway on a regular basis, you could probably do that. So you've got everything coming, all different scenarios.
Paul, that's fascinating. It's great information. If we wanted to see the same information on Tullahoma or Smyrna, can you do it?
I can't give you this, but what this software, this 1200 Aero, one of the perks of this one And one of the reasons behind it, this particular software is state sponsored. This is
Okay.
free of charge to us. This is something that's been a statewide project. So they have put this data gathering system in every airport in Tennessee, general aviation airport in Tennessee. And so we, through reports, can compare how we are in operations and things of that nature. We can't see exactly where Tullahoma went to like we can with ours because our specific tracking software. But we can see, approaches and departures compared to theirs, and do it across the entire state. So our number of operations, we can see through different reports. I haven't played with that in a little bit, but you can see what our takeoff and landings were, but statewide statistics will give you, like, for example, of general aviation airports, the top for so far in 25 has been Smyrna. And then below that is Murfreesboro. And then you got that's McGee Tyson, John C. Toon. Then you got Downtown Island and Knoxville, and then us. And then and then down there in Mike 54 is Lebanon. And then you're looking down at B&A. Those are general aviation. B&A is a little skewed because of that. And then you're looking at Mike 91, and you're looking at Gallatin. And so TH, the K, you're looking down here. I don't know if you can't see it. Oh yeah, there it goes. Like if you look right there, that KTHA is Tullahoma. So you can see where they are and we can look at that compared to total number of operations and the way it's configured. Now, of course, you've got military, you have the others that you can see across on the different statistics. So that is something that we can, statewide ranking by total operations. You can see where we run right in there. Below Nashville, of course, below Knoxville, and then you go to Smyrna, Murfreesboro, John C. Toon in Nashville, and then you got Gallatin and then us.
That's,
So that gives you an idea
It's amazing.
all the way across. And so that's one of the advantages of this Aero, 1200 Aero, is the fact that with every airport in Tennessee participating, even those, there are some like Murfreesboro and myself, we kept VirTower because we were one of the original ones that established VirTower in Tennessee. And so there's a lot of things I like about VirTower, and so I kept it. And but we took advantage of the free service by the state with this 1200 Aero. There's a few different things with the way the information is gathered. So we like to compare, and we're one of the test cases with Murfreesboro and another airport. I'm trying to remember which one that is seeing where some of where there's some differences, and some of it is flyovers and things of that nature. Because for here, flyovers is a big issue because you ask any of the jet guys coming in, training over our VOR, it clogs up the airspace. Even though they're not landing here, they're not touching down. So depending on their elevation, they're not counting as operation. However, they can't land here. Like, for example, the way some of our limitations are now with Memphis Center giving up property, or you could say Nashville accepting more property. Now, when there's certain approaches in Murfreesboro, they can't do certain approaches here. And so they're having to put them on hold because of missed approach procedures overlapping and some other things of that nature. And so when Murfreesboro was under Nashville and Memphis Center had their own, we were able to, it wasn't a conflict, but now it is. So there's some things now that
airspace is the same.
it's personnel.
Okay.
Your personnel is the issue. But yes, you would think that airspace hadn't moved.
Yeah.
Airport hadn't moved,
Well,
but it's just the personnel and the radar coverage and things of that nature is the issue.
The historical data, how far can you go back using this 1200 Aero? Is this just recent?
It is, they haven't had it a year yet at every airport, so we can't
So
quite
that's
get the
as far
whole
back
year.
as-
But VirTower, I just gave that information and I think I have it through the middle of 21. So we have good information on VirTower. It's another reason why I don't want to get rid of it because of the historical information I can get and go back that far. Because as a matter of fact, I just gave that to our consultant who's working with FAA right now, trying to do getting all of our crossing our T's and dotting our I's for the tower.
Right.
that we've got going on. And so I just bombarded them with a lot of data on that. And we can literally run a report that gives everything, every approach and departure and when and what time. And I mean, we can see it all. Also, we can see, we can see some information through Vertower about what's coming in, even when other tracking software doesn't. Like, there are some things that you can do online for yourself right now that you can see, like FlightAware and some different things like that. We can see some arrivals and things like that that others can't. So we can see we've got Sister coming in. That's 100 X-Way Romeo. She's coming in. She's bringing her Navajo in from Panama City. And what time she's going to be coming in? She's coming in here at 2:36 is her estimated arrival time right now. So we can see that kind of information all through this software, and it helps us out so that, because we don't, that way we can help when we don't get surprises. Occasionally we get surprised, but very seldom do we get surprised that anybody comes in here that needs our services.
That's great.
I wish you'd bring that to, like Steve said, city council, just to show them that. I really think they all need to see it.
I did show our IT director and he was pretty enthralled there for a while. So he might be able to work that out for us to set that up for something like that on occasion.
I think for the visual learner, that fits in a whole different way.
It very does.
That,
It does, especially, and one of the things I've able to do on this was to do a video capture of a quick video of seeing where you can see that transition. But yes, when I do it for an entire year on that particular interactive piece right here, it gets pretty crowded of all the different activities because of the fact that we're pushing 60,000 operations a year here.
Right.
That was pretty much, I was trying to keep it a little shorter. I got a little long-winded last month. So I think I was trying to keep this demonstration a little bit lower.
Well, thank you. That was impressive. Very impressive. So we go to old business and the VOR memo of understanding. And to our council, I would say, Ginger, if you ever wanted to write a memo of understanding with someone, this is the one to use as a model
Yeah.
because it is one-sided
Oh, yeah.
and it's not our side.
It definitely is.
Paul and I discussed this. Y'all had a chance to review it, but basically it just says we, the federal government, own the VOR.
Mhm.
We're to maintain it, but you need to mow the grass.
Right.
And it is what it is unless we decide in 30 days to change it. But other than that, you can't do anything. That's pretty much.
That's a good summary. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Theirs.
a few thousand words added to explain that.
Legally.
Yeah, a lot of spy stuff. I don't get that often getting to read
Oh, yeah.
all this about the spy stuff.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
fun.
yes.
That was fun toward the end of the contract. Yeah, it's theirs until they ever abandon it, and then it becomes the city's, obviously. Of course, the biggest thing that we actually touched on this, I think, last month. They won't pay to remove it. If they decide to quit servicing or quit doing, it's theirs and it becomes ours if they abandon it. But, I mean, if the contract, what I thought was interesting on was somewhat vague on if there is damage to the equipment. In your talks with them, what have they? I mean, obviously, we caused
Minimal
damage.
discussions because of the fact of the shutdown. Right after all this came out, everything shut down.
Right.
So to get any follow-ups, what has always been the concern and what has been, I don't know if it's a proper word for assumption, but it's been operated as if whoever does the damage, their insurance is the one that should cover, not FAA's insurance. The insurance of the person causing the damage, such as if Sam Davis, who leases the property closest to him,
Sure.
throws a piece from a bush hog or something like that, and it happens to strike it, it's Sam's insurance that would pay for the repair.
That
And
makes
same,
sense.
same thing for an airplane. If an airplane were to hit it from a crash, the airplane's insurance
I'm
covers
talking
costs.
more of an act of God type thing.
Tornado.
That's all
Yes.
theirs. That's all FAs.
It's sort of, it's a little vague.
Yes, I know.
Vague in the contract about an event like that happening.
That is,
They basically can choose to repair it or not repair it.
yeah, that's true. That's been the way since I've been in working with FA for many, many years. They do the numbers
We
and
can't
if it's,
force them to-
yes, that's right.
Just pointing that one out. We can't. force them.
The other issue, which we covered last month, I think, is if we ever wanted to do the second runway because of MTSU, it's in the way, right?
And we have to move it at our cost.
If they allow us to move it.
That's right. So if they still deem it, there's a need for it. And they say, and that's the thing, the way it's written is if it's for, the good of aviation. Then, yeah, they basically have in a form
But they would,
condemned our property. In a way.
they would also be the one that would be approving the additional runway.
Not necessarily, yes and no.
A different part of. the FAA.
Yeah. Yes, there would be some work with them, but the fact that FAA has already stated and they've said, they're not funding it. So, you can build, it's almost as if you're building a private runway. It's kind of the idea. They really, that's when their hammer gets big is when they provide funding. When they don't provide funding for it, there's not much that can be done about it. So you can, you file a form like a guy that decides to put it in his farm, on his farm, you file a 7460. And that's what you just go through the same process. And we're in the state, in this case, would be paying for the runway because the FAA's already said they would not participate in a runway of that size. It's too small. It's not big enough to justify for the community as a whole, kind of like the aviation community as a whole.
So you're saying there's no sign off at all from FAA on any standards at that time?
And they acknowledge it, but there's really not, it's kind of like what we just discussed earlier. If we were not to sign this, what's FAA going to do? FAA just assumes. So, there's not really, if you decide with that other runway, you decide to put another runway in, FAA is not going to say no to you. They're just going to make sure you jump through the proper hoops. That's all they're going to do. But again, we would still have to wait for that VOR to go away. And that's been my biggest hang up about this is the fact of,
20 years.
well, yes, 20 years is huge. However, it's the fact that Centerville's VOR went away, one of the very first ones when they first started getting rid of them. And that's been, what now, 12 years, and it's still sitting there. It's not on the airport, but it's just adjacent to it, so you can actually see it from Centerville's runway. But it's still sitting there.
Doesn't belong.
Oh, they flipped the switch.
So Paul, in this, in the letter that they sent us, it says that eliminates the use of legal descriptions and relies on the list of facilities and the airport layout plan to identify where our facilities are located. In the airport layout plan that is submitted to them, is that the existing layout, or does it also contain the desire for the additional runway?
The airport layout plan that we're in works with right now, the existing airport layout plan does show the limitations in the area based on the 500-foot radius around a VOR. It does show that on the airport layout. The one that we're going through the process right now does show that is showing that we were putting another runway there and shows that it would be in conflict with the VOR.
So I guess my question would be then, if they have this listed as a facility on a airport layout plan that we intend to not be our plan a few years from now, should we, before we sign this, communicate to them our desires of additional runway and explain to them that their facility is conflicting with that? And that way they're on notice of what's going on rather than adopting a plan that kind of, I don't know that it would pigeonhole us, but they're saying, wait a minute, you adopted this layout plan when you brought this back to us, agreeing that it,
There's three alternatives right now that are going through FAA review with our consultant right now. It's supposed to, whether what it will or not, I mean, it's supposed to, it used to, back when I had, in my old life, I used to have to send it to all the different ones. I always just assumed it was rubber stamped. But the procedures people are supposed to review it. The facilities people are supposed to review it under FAA to see, especially with the fact that there is a federal facility on the airport. Because other airports have federal instruments like ILSs and different things of that nature. So any airport that has federal equipment on it, that portion of FAA is supposed to review the new airport layout plan before it's signed off on. So that will throw some red flags if we're showing a runway going right through their surfaces. And so that would have to be mitigated. That will be addressed at that time during the review process, you know. And so, yes, it lets them know that what we're up to through that review process and how we're to mitigate that scenario if it were to come about.
Could we,
be proactive.
yeah, be proactive and let's just call and, well, once they go back to work, call and talk with them and say, here's a concern that we have.
Yeah, I would like to have,
Ask for a different term.
yeah.
We recognize that this facility exists on our current airport layout plan, but that's not our plan
Right.
in the future. What are our other options? This is just, they said that this is the kind of boilerplate language they've sent across the country.
Yeah.
But it may not apply, it doesn't really fit
Right.
us because we have other plans.
Why don't you do that? Just call FAA, talk with them.
Yes, and we'll
tell
get,
them,
I'll set up a virtual meeting with our consultant and, because, and the planner that's running our airport layout plan, and when, like you said, when they
Yeah.
get fully functional,
Yeah,
if there is.
and then we'll
if-
decide. Okay,
Works for me,
great.
because it does, like we mentioned before, the fact that the date is coming, it's not like they're going to shut that off.
Okay, good. Okay, we'll go to the King lease review.
So-
It's submitted, I don't know.
Okay, so what, and, as, you have a copy of the original lease, and then you have copies of the amendments that were done to it later.
I do.
And then there were, the board has, we've given the board all those same copies as well, and they, it turns out, part of it, we missed it. Between the two of us, we missed it because we were switching personnel and we missed the date of when that expired. But they have requested that it be extended and via email. And then, of course, we have a representative for Mr. King here that will be glad to address that request. And based on the last amendment that came through, the length of time requested is still there, but other terms such as the value of that piece is still up and available for discussion. Did that make sense?
So this is, it was a, was it 20-year, 10-year?
It was a 5.
It was a 10-year that expired this year. The initial contract, our agreement had 2 consecutive 5-year renewal notes, and then the addendum added 2 more 5-year consecutive options. So we would be entering the first 5 of the 20 total right now.
Yes, and it's, I was trying to find that.
When you look at
I think it's on this particular page. I think that's. They're not all labeled, unfortunately, but, I was trying to find that particular article for you that you were referring to.
Well, the final one is on the addendum to hangar lease, the first, which it's the one dated February 23rd of 2018. And it's paragraph 4 that gives them 2 additional 5-year renewal options. In addition to those previously granted in the lease agreement at the rental rate that lessor adopts at the time of the renewal. That's the 2 additional ones. You're talking about the first one.
No, that was where I was looking for. That was the verbiage I was looking for, just so that you can be aware of how it's. So the length of time is established. It's just the rate that needs to be.
Yeah, here's the other part of it, that this was from March 9th of 2015. And it says the term of the lease shall be for a period of 10 years from the date of this instrument. As first renewal of original lease, lessees shall have the option to renew this lease for 2 additional consecutive 5-year terms at a rate that is consistent with any increases that have transpired. So if that's the original lease, then I would say this is the first renewal, is that right?
First 5-year option.
First 5-year.
So what's up for discussion is the rate that is consistent with any increases that have transpired.
That's correct.
Okay.
So other than that, I mean, I can't see any reason why it's as mentioned before, everything works well. There's no stumbling block for it. It's just establishing what you feel is that rate. I wish I could say there's one exactly like it, but there's not. So I could say, here's apples, here's apples. I don't have a lease exactly like his. I can tell you what his current rate is. His current rate is $627.52 per month for 8,000 square feet.
627.22.
52.
52.
627.52 for 8,000 square feet. That's a rounded number for 8,000 square feet because there's some adjustment, but, and just to give you some other, you're looking at, $2,000 a month for the other side of the north hangar, which is a 120 by 100. And this is 80 by, so it's the north hangar is divided with a wall that's 200, it's 200 feet long. It's divided in with a wall and it has 80. And actually, I'm not counting, and that's not even counting his addition that he did. And I'm not sure exactly how long that is. I don't recall exactly. Maybe that's 15. I think it's about 15 feet more that he added on to the building for the large door that he added on for the pocket for his tail of his airplane. That doesn't count that square footage. I was just counting the original building because that was what the original lease was based on. But so if you can compare it to the north hang, to the balance of the north hangar, which
It's 2,000 a month and what size is it?
is 100 by 120.
And what size?
12,000.
So this is 2/3 of that size?
Hmm?
Yes. No, this is 80 by 100.
Paul, did not just get a rate increase on that?
3%. Yes.
3%, okay. 1,000.
So, and another one for you to compare if you wanted to, I can't really say this is apple to apples, but if you wanted to, just because is our T hangers they're 938 square feet and that's $430 a month. That's our highest price square footage is a T hanger.
438.
430. And it's getting ready to go up, but 3%. I just don't have that off the top of my head, but the $430 gets you just under 1,000 square feet.
$12.90 is what it's about to go up the first of the year.
Okay. So you're looking at 42. That's what it's going to, or almost 43. But like I said, that's the highest square footage.
Yeah.
This is a bulk area, and the last time, and might be able to, I'm sure we've got the other, I'm not sure anybody was here when he added on. No, nobody's here except for us. Well, you don't count, you don't. When he added on to the building, I was trying to remember all our different discussion. Ginger was here for that one, that discussion. We kept it at that existing rate because of the expense associated with him adding that, that portion of the building for the tail, his tail section.
That was the reason that rate was kept exactly at that.
Yes, because I
Seen
had,
that over.
and
I believe the discussion would reflect back then at the time that the authority felt like it would go up to whatever reasonable market value at the time after that 10-year period was over, after he did, or whatever period it is after he added on to the building.
so he's been at that rate for probably 20 years. I think he's been at that rate for 20 years.
Longer than I worked for him.
Yeah.
I'm about to start my 15th year.
That's what, and well, I knew it was that way when I got here, so couldn't do historically, I didn't have that, but he's been at that dollar amount for pushing 20 years. I think it was even back to when there was a partnership there with Mr. Howard as well.
That's right.
That's what it came from.
And so your last addendum to when he added on was in 18, less than 7 years.
So you don't have anything comparable to it. The closest thing you have is what he's shown on your span. But we do have our rate chart that if you put this building into the rate chart, what would the amount be per month?
Well, hang on one second, let me do that. If you compare it, then that didn't look right, because that had it pushing like $4,000, and I don't think that's right. I gotta look at that again. Hang on. You're looking at about $2,000. Around $2,000, rounded for easy math.
So just for my benefit, how are you coming up with that number? Are you
That was a per square foot.
the per square foot that you have?
Yes.
And that's what we're applying to everyone?
That's what has been applied as a per square foot price when we were looking at per square foot. Now, if you wanted to look at it, which in this particular scenario, and I think based on other buildings in the area, they've been adjusted. You look at kind of getting a ballpark idea, and then they were adjusted as necessary. So you can look, that's when, such as looking at the expense that he put into putting that building in there. Putting that, and also as you would for most anybody, you take into consideration what type of income for the airport they generate. Now he's not a fixed based operator like the guys over in the corner. And so they're generating a different type of income, but there's some common income. He's not an FBO, but yet he is generating income for the airport because of the amount of fuel he does purchase. He is our highest fuel purchase on the field.
Can I ask a question? In this, doesn't the property become the airports after 20 years, whatever improvements are building, does it become that? So
Yes.
waive that off and just charge them for the square foot. Okay, like what I'm paying or what anybody else is paying, would make more sense about that, because he's had this 20 years. And I'm not trying to do anything wrong, I'm just saying that fair is,
His improvements haven't been there for 20 years.
but it's been there 20 years.
The building is,
2005.
I'm just saying his improvements, the improvements that were done, were done.
In 18, $113,562 worth of improvements were done.
Yeah,
Okay.
so in 18, yeah, so there's
I
still,
thought they did it when they first built it.
No.
No, 2018.
no, he did it later on. He switched aircraft. to the site, to that citation and
Gave
needed
him
a
the
tail.
option to keep renewing.
Right.
That's right.
And at the time, the board left the price as it was because of that, knowing that he was putting that kind of money
Yeah.
into the building.
So said on square foot basis, it'd be 2,000 a month. But the 12,000 square feet hangar, the rest of that hangar, 12,000 square feet is 2,000, right? Is that because it's an older lease?
Just because of the increases in rates since then. I mean, so yes, but yes, originally, and then also I mean, it's unfortunate he did the improvements, but it's a better, it's a better hangar. That portion of it's been improved. Now, it's a shame that it's been improved by the tenant that would end up having to.
Well, yeah.
But it's improved. It has a bathroom, it has water, the other side doesn't. And the type of door, the electric door, that one, the other side doesn't. So, things
But
of
he
that.
put those in.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
So I don't know that we should charge.
No, it's a
what
good
he put
benefit
in.
from that.
Right.
But if you
But that's
just do it-
part of the reason why, I mean, and so, yes, the improvements that he made it much
So
nicer.
if you just do it on square footage of what everybody here pays, it would be what?
It'd be 1985.
And that square footage rate is exactly what, Paul? And what I mean is, are you talking about all of our folks that have built their own hangars? That's
No,
the rate they're,
That's my struggle is I don't have an apples to apples comparison. I have to look at just a per square foot price. And originally, on the other side, if you want to look at it, the only other thing that we did that was our own facility that we charged per square foot, we could look at the EA hangar, or we could look at also the Quonset hut, and we can look on the north side before giving the whole place over was 25 cents a square foot is what we were charging. But it was based on what somebody could take up. So, that's what's been sort of the norm in a way, was 25 cents a square foot.
Is that a current rate or is that just what it's always been?
That's
What's all,
sort of what we've been basing some of the things, because there was no, it's always been, there wasn't that. So
Okay.
when we were trying to establish something, some kind of baseline at one point in time, it's been probably, it was David and Eric did that 6 years ago, 5 years ago,
It seems like yesterday, but when I went to look back for the minutes, it was about 5 years ago.
about 5 years ago. We were trying to establish any kind of baseline whatsoever,
Okay.
because it has all been it's been all kinds of different places and all been haphazard as to what the per square foot price would be, or the building itself. Some of them looked at it, and I think some of it was whether you were a buddy with Hank. In some cases, you hate to say that, but I think that's kind of the way it was.
Well, I think if we don't find the exact amount to charge Mr. King, we're gonna be finding ourselves in the same predicament. We need an amount that is
Yes.
consistent, that is adopted by this board, that is paid by everyone moving
and
forward.
we have that for land leases. Is that right?
right.
We just don't have it for hangars.
That we own. Yeah, hangars that we own, not somebody
That we own.
doing land lease and then they build their own.
What about the Mac Air hangars?
Which one?
All of them.
I don't even know what we pay rent. Somebody else comes that up in. I don't know.
Well, I'm just asking because those are hangars.
Right. They're revenue producing hundreds.
They're revenue producing hangars. Now, they're not current necessarily. Although the leases are,
I'll talk about that.
but that's a different subject.
Yeah.
So as Paul said, this is somewhat its own animal.
And so, and whenever facilities come up, they usually get adjusted. And you kind of come in with a baseline and then you adjust it one way or the other. And based on past performance, usually it gets adjusted down when it comes here, because of looking at, it's sort of been up to the authority to establish what benefit that particular tenant does for the airport.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I guess from my perspective, it needs to be fair and equal to everybody.
Right.
You know, and
Right. I think you should consider, what, 7 years ago, $113,000 to put into it.
I agree with that.
I mean, that-
I think that that's still, I mean, realize that hasn't really been,
No, and that should be affected here in the rate that you charge.
Yeah.
So I think the 2,000 is too high.
We replaced asphalt that was also not included in that 113,000. The 113,000 was just White's welding and what they came out and did. So whatever the cost of that would have been, Brent.
That's not cheap either.
I leave with a total that's 3 times what he's paying now. That's gonna be a fun conversation.
Yeah, and I,
Please don't make me do
But
that.
I knew that.
If
And I
you
knew
base
that.
his 8,000 on the 12,000 next door, it'd be about 1,300 a month. Which is about double, which I think is more fair.
It's, the 6/27/52 dates back to 05.
Yes.
Is it-
Okay.
At least as far as
I've got the 05 lease. Let me
The
look at it.
05 lease was actually 420.
I don't know when, that was before me, when it got to that 627, so I can't answer that.
Hey,
what's inflation been for the last 20 years?
gosh, dog. You know,
Yeah, it was 420.
So I knew there was gonna be,
Is the 05 lease in here?
It's
Yes,
here.
sir.
It was 420.
I
And
think
I
the
can-
lease has to be.
Yeah, I see it.
The
I've got
lease
it.
also has to be rewritten to account for the 3% escalation.
Yes.
That is gonna be annually,
Right, this renewal
Is that-
term would need
This-
to be.
would need to capture that as well.
I don't know that it has that.
It looks like the original lease was in 05. So it looks like when they did the lease agreement in 15, that's when they went to the 6/27/52.
That's correct.
Right.
So it hasn't been that long.
So it's
All
been
right,
10
so-
years. It's been 10
10
years at
years.
6/27/52.
So, but then, who said, I think, you say that in that amendment, when it went to 627, it was kept lower than it would have been because of the improvement?
No, the improvements didn't happen until 3 years later.
No,
Okay.
So we had 2 amendments.
yeah, we had one in 15, which was just the 10-year renewal. And then in 18, he made the.
We have a new
improvement,
lease.
And they did an addendum to that one.
The new lease was in 15. And then you had an amendment to the 2015,
Got it.
which was when he built or changed the
Okay.
opening where he could get the new
And
jetty.
and so with that, to help with his, spread his cost across multiple years, is, what was agreed upon? Was the price stayed the same? And then he was able to expand the terms without it being a termination of the contract. So that he can justify the cost of spending that extra 120, whatever it turned out to be. It was 113 plus the extra.
So if he hadn't done anything to the hangar, didn't improve it. His hangar lease agreement from 2015 was for 10 years, and then we would still be talking about the first renewal,
Right.
which would still be opened up, so he was gonna get 627.52 for,
With this
10
lease, will they
years.
also be asking for an option to renew, to have the option to extend it another 5 or plus that?
it's a renewal, and so it's all. If everybody can come to an agreement on anything, we can make an amendment that changes contract terms on anything if they so want, but all I hear right now is they're asking for renewal.
So for a renewal, you can't put the 3% in. Is that right?
You could, if that's what y'all come to.
Oh, okay.
But I
I
mean,
didn't even understand we're asking for a renewal. I thought we're exercising a renewal.
yeah.
that's what was my impression. That's the way I thought it was written. Is that not?
Yes, they have a right to renewal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way, and all that we were,
At the then current price,
yes.
then current price could be X plus 3% escalation.
You can That's where I'm coming to you get, that's why you guys get paid the big bucks.
I don't know that we could, I don't know that we could adopt another lease that does not have the 3% escalation when we're putting that in every contract that we enter into,
Right.
everybody that's
Yeah.
going before.
That's the policy that you
If
have
that's the
been
policy
attempting
that-
to put into place,
Yes.
yes.
So I think at the very minimum, this lease, regardless of what we set it at, we have to include the 3% escalation year over year.
Yeah, and he will not be surprised. The language says with any increases that have transpired. So these are natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and what that allows for and what the hope when we first discussed that 3% was so that we don't have to have these kind of regular discussions again.
Nobody's.
Yeah. And
But
then
the
if there's
difference would be if we adopted the language that also came with the 3%, his lease would also be $1,800 after you leave today,
Yeah.
plus 3%.
And that's gonna be what it's gonna be. If that's the decision you guys make, that's what I'm leaving with.
That's what, I mean, that's the decision that was made by boards before I was on this board.
But I knew that,
That was the adopted. Now, that does not give credit for the improvements that he has made.
Right.
and I knew that dollar amount would be hard to swallow for anybody, just because of the fact all of a sudden you're more than doubling something. So
So
I knew that there would be some discussion that needed to be taken care of for the amount of increase.
If the hangar were empty, did not have a bathroom in it, didn't have the automated doors, it was just like the other side. It was 8,000 instead of 12,000.
I'll take it first.
What would you say?
That may be your answer right there.
Yeah, what would you ask for?
I would, well, I learned my lesson that the other side was too cheap. And so I would ask actually more than I would for the other side. So I would probably be at least 25, at least.
So that's market.
Yes.
He's still-
He's still,
And he's still willing to take.
that's
We're not
with,
willing to give it.
that's-
away either.
that's with no improvements, but with the
Right.
improvements that were made because of the fact of actually his improvements that he made with that large door has made the value of it. You can, I could lease it probably within a month to another same type of aircraft for pushing $3,000 a month, if not greater.
You leave it.
I probably could actually put it out there for bid and it would go higher. Cause in Nashville prices, they were, if you know, a guy from Nashville would come down thinking, for an extra 50-minute, 25-minute drive, he could save $2,000 a month.
Yeah, so that's the other side of it. The market is probably without the improvements, because he paid for the improvements. I don't think you can think of that, but without the improvements, it's probably worth 3.
Well,
I'm not suggesting.
but
I know,
just-
and
we
I know
consider-
better than that. That's if I were starting from scratch. But I know better than working with the existing tenants and the fact that he's, like I said, he is the top, fuel purchase on the field.
And he's a local resident
Right.
who also was willing to invest $113,000 into making this to what it is right now.
Right.
That only makes it marketable, because of the initial hit he made.
Mhm.
I like consistency. I think that we have to get ourselves into a position to where we are consistent in doing things.
Mhm.
But if 2,000 is the going rate for a 12,000 square foot building, I think this gentleman says for the size of this facility, we're closer to the market price for what we should do with Mr. King moving forward for the next 5 years, and recognizing that at the end of this 5 years, this rate will likely go up to that 1,800, and we will capture the 3% escalation
Over the next 5 years.
over the next 5
5
years.
years.
But setting the rate and still giving him credit for the improvements he made.
So you'd set the rate where?
I believe you were at
1340 is what it would be.
1340 with an escalation clause.
I think that's fair. More than fair.
And I think that also recognizes the rate that you said was 1950 or 1985,
1985.
based on square footage. But that can't be the rate based on his square footage.
No, like I said, I don't have anything that's the same, because if I looked at the Quonset hut rate's higher than that. But that was because that's what Tennessee Flight Training, they offered it. And so I was very excited when they said yes. And the quality of the Quonset hut is poor. It's the poorest facility on
Yeah.
And then, so I wish I had a way to say here's this, I'm looking everything's apples to oranges, no matter how I pull it.
It's been a long process to try to bring everybody on equal footing.
Yeah.
A long process.
Yes.
Going on 10 years at this point.
And now we kick it 5 more years down the road.
Well,
no,
But you're
in
getting
one way
so
you
much
are,
closer. I mean, you're
but-
so much closer than you were.
you're talking about leases that are 20 years. It's gonna take that long to fix it.
Well,
It
he's
just
in the
is.
business, he understands that. We have contracts and leases every day. He understands.
I think that's fair.
1340 plus 3%.
So that I make certain we're all on the same page, though. The language from the hangar lease agreement we're honoring today for these first 5 years. This agreement was offered by this group of people, right? The city or this board created this agreement.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just the numbers.
Right. I don't want him saying Fred Hunt did this, or, but I just want to make sure I have an
It wasn't
understanding.
true.
Yeah.
If he likes the answer, it's the airport authority. If he doesn't like the answer, it's the city council.
But I
Okay.
think in the minutes that I would want to make sure that it's also noted that we are still crediting Mr. King for the significant improvements he made.
Absolutely. I think we'll do a memo.
Yeah.
I think we'll do a memo on this. It sets all
Can you
those
get the
things.
cost of the asphalt repairs just so we can throw that in?
I'm gonna bet. I can do my best.
Then we need a motion.
All right, I make the motion that we charge Mr. King, $1,340, this year, and with a 3% increase in the out years for a total of 5 years. Is that right?
She's giving a head nod, so.
3% escalation, annual
Yes.
escalation clause
Right.
for 5 years.
Council's that okay?
It is.
Now,
And so this actually goes back to August 1st, is that right?
Well, that was a joint mistake, so
I would say
I
going
just-
forward from today.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
already been paying. the
Yes.
amount On a month.
I do believe he's paid up to the end of the year, actually. Am I correct on that?
We bill on an annual. I always ask for an invoice for an annual, so we may have actually only paid through the end of our lease. I'll have to go back and look.
The
We
lease,
will make it right.
night, 2015. So when was this?
And there was
The
another
actual
date
term.
that was marked out. It says August. Is that?
Yeah, the
confusing?
first lease payment is due August 1st,
That
2015.
may have been some of the same, like they were trying to work it out and it took till August till they got it all signed, sealed.
Yeah, first day of August, 2015.
Which is that, we're not that far. Awesome.
I don't know why it says that, because it went to the original lease in 2005 is April 1.
Right.
And my gut tells me we cut this check in the spring, but I'll have to go back.
So and this is not signed off, so I don't know what that is.
No, but I made the copy and it was on the original lease. That August was written in there on the original.
Who did that? Did-
I saw that.
I don't think so. Does the council have to approve that?
Does this council has to ultimately approve this?
On a renewal with just setting the rate term, no.
Okay, so once we pass it, it's.
Now, y'all are following your policy,
Okay.
basically. Your policy's approved by council, the
Okay.
leases are approved by council. This is an actual, just to me, a considered renewal of what you've already got in place. So that's why I was gonna, we don't have to do an amendment. We just do I would like it in a memo on this that we can attach to the contract. So 5 years from now, we don't have to go do a lot of digging.
So they pay from January to December.
It's showing he's paid till December, through December.
We have some additional money though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 2 months. That's it. November.
It should begin on November 1st.
I agree. Yes, and amend that November.
Yeah, November.
1st. Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
And so that would go November 1st through, I'm still trying to figure out what the actual term of the contract is.
5 years.
It's 5 years.
From what?
From,
Well, they're now saying November 1st, so I would
Well,
think,
that's the money.
That's
We're
the
taking the
money
money.
okay,
The contract term should have been the 1st, April 1st, the way I
Yeah.
tend to look at it. But then this has got marked on it August. I just want to get clarity here what the actual term of this contract is.
okay,
We need to go back to. some-
Regional's April 1st. I don't know why the August is written in. Mark
I don't either.
Well, if you, where, on the very top, it says, whereas unless you entered into this agreement dated August 1st, 2005,
Mm-hmm.
and then the first lease payment is dated the first day of April, and then marked out to say August, so
It looks like it's originally
I think
August.
it should be August.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just
So-
a typo there.
So your 5 years would be up August 1st, 2030.
August 1st, 2030. Let's make sure that gets it.
Yeah.
And I'll put all that on here.
okay. Any other old business? Marching up right ahead, new business, Mac Air. I mean, we missed not talking to you.
Well, can I go ahead and speak?
Please.
I'll tell you what's going on. And I know we've talked about this for several years and people joke about when I'm going to retire. I'm still not going to retire. So let's get that out of your head. So here's what I'm doing is I'm looking at a place in Costa Rica and I need to sell the assets that I have to be able to buy it. So, I have a purchaser. We have a preliminary contract to go to within 30 days or so to close. But here's the way it's going to happen is I will still work for him for at least, depends on what we can negotiate. I'd like to say 2 or 3 months, but he's got me for 3 years. So I'm not going away. It's just the ownership has changed and still be the same name, still be the same phone number, still be the same people, still be the same everything. And the person that I'm talking about is a person who owns a rather large flight school in Smyrna and also manages, has an aircraft management service at John Toon and Smyrna. And he's wanting to add maintenance to it so that the Cirrus customers that he sells airplanes to, that he trains them in when they're out of warranty, they have a place to go to automatically. So he'll manage that. Because it will be an asset to him and to the airport too, because the Cirrus population is like skyrocketed. Okay, so we went from 1 to, we got like right at 30 right now that we're doing. So we used to be Beechcraft. Now it's more serious than Beechcraft, and we still have a lot of Beechcraft. So, like I say, he has alluded to me that the people that I have that's been running the business for me for a number of years, and with my supervision, that he will only come down here if needed. The only thing that's going to change is who is signature of authorization on, for that. Same people, everything will be in place, but I'll just got my capital out of it and I will be a consultant-like person. The second part of this is Sean owns Patriot. Thanks. And I'm on that LLC myself. So my agreement with the potential buyer is this, that he gets hangar number 8 and the north hangar. Okay, and I want Sean's hangar, the hangar 6. I want that to be the lease moved to him. Okay, and it won't be Mac Air, but I'm on the LLC. So I'd rather it be in his name, but I will still be connected to that. And then I have 2 other hangars that I'll move to my name altogether. So that's the gist of it. And if you're looking at Amendment 2, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when we first talked about this, it says that I'm basically asking for your permission and your approval to proceed with my contract, that you will approve him. Okay, so in fact, that's part of my contract, that I have to have your approval before you will honor before we can do a deal. So I wouldn't bring it to you if I thought it was shady. I'm not trying to sell out. It's just an opportunity. And if you don't know how old I am, I'm pretty old. But it's time for me to start stepping back, and I'm gonna stay in aviation though. Still be doing some stuff, but I'm gonna do it less and do more of a consulting role as a background kind of person, which will allow me to be gone more. So, and Costa Rica is on the map for January and February. So I'm asking your permission, and if you need his name, need who it is, I'd rather that not be real public today, but if you'll say you won't talk about it, I'll tell you who it is. But I'd rather it not be real public, but he's, so.
Because we're being.
You are being recorded.
We are.
Yeah, you're being recorded, so that
Okay.
This is a public meeting.
Yeah.
So, and
anything here is,
But if I say today and then everybody's gonna say, well, he's selling out and leaving and we'll lose business and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a completely transparent thing, other than the business will belong to him instead of me. But I'll still be primary, I'll be focal point. So I wouldn't bring anybody to you that I thought was shady, or it has to be, I've invested 25 years in this, okay? It has my daddy's name on it, and I'm not giving it away. Somebody's gonna waste it or destroy it. I've been I've had more than one offer, but I've been very careful about who and why. So I don't know if that's justification for you, but it is for me. So I need your approval to say yes. You can always turn it down for last minute, but I'd rather you didn't. But we're scheduled to, if you're in agreement with it, this would be at the end of next month, end of November. Or within that last week of November.
Okay, so this person from Sparta would do Cirrus maintenance.
Yes, we're already doing service maintenance.
Right. And that's what,
This will be in addition to it, to allow him to offer one-stop service. Okay, gets them their airplane, he trains them in the airplane, takes care of the warranty on it.
got it.
Then after it's warranty, it'll come to our shop until we get a repair station for Cirrus.
Okay. And then what does Patriot do?
I'm an avionics provider.
So we added avionics, Sean and Mike and several others around here used to work at Forge, and when that all went away, they're part of the group that I've helped support and get into business on their own. You know, I've known Sean.
Hawkins and Patriot are here with Charles.
So
Okay.
therefore, my desire to make it better, not take away. But I do want to move hangar 6, which is the old Tillet hangar, to his name, to Patriot instead of being Mac Air.
Right.
And he can sign for it, but I'm still on the LLC. We can do that all at once if you want to. It doesn't have to be done today, but I just need your approval that we can do that. And we can work on that before the end of next month. We need to.
I must say, my personal opinion is that having Mac Air here is an asset to the airport.
Absolutely.
So it was something we benefit from. So I think, I guess my reaction would be, to the extent that it's going to continue,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
as long as the parties are creditworthy and will continue to pay the lease payments.
Yes, they are.
Uh,
Yes, they are.
I think it's a benefit to the airport, but Paul, do you have any?
No, I agree with that completely, and I think it makes sense, since, Patriot is now, I mean, since he's now got his legs under him, that he can stand on his own and needs to stand on his own as far as his lease is concerned and not be part of, operating under, the Mac Air name as well. And so, because I think our guys almost deliver as much mail to him as they do to Mac Air. And so I think, it would be good for him to be on his own standalone lease. And so that would work well to be able to split that apart. And we would have a separate operating agreement specifically for his avionics shop and detailed in there. So there's going to be I wish it could be, I mean, as clean as that today, but we'll have to rewrite an operating agreement specifically for an avionics shop where Charles has specific things for maintenance, and it covered a tilt hanger because he used that as a general, paint shop and various other things in that particular building. So there'll be some things that we'll need to sort of split apart a little bit to get the language just right. But, to make sure that, all and I guess that could be a question. All you're going to do is in that facility is just avionics.
Yes.
Or you're not going to try to share anything at all, like doing any, I know you used it as a paint booth at one point in time and none of that stuff happens.
Small thing, yes.
Yeah.
Let's be, yeah.
Okay, so that, being able to limit that particular building just to avionics.
And Sean has a good working relationship with this person already. So, should work out well.
So
What is
that,
the
When does your lease
requirements?
actually end?
Ma'am,
When does your lease end?
I don't know. I've been here since
he had a third, there's a third amendment.
When does it end? 4 years for extended term.
I think the life amendment we did to, was in 22,
Yes, sir. 23.
23.
That's on fees. I'm just trying to, because we really do need to write 2 new leases.
Yes.
And if y'all are fine with it, we can write the terms go to his lease or do whatever you want. Do a different, make it longer, do different terms.
I think probably just, since he's assigning it over, it should stick with the lease terms that he has, but we want to, especially considering, how we're setting fees and rates and how they change. But also making sure that, and I'm just bringing this up because of other leases that we've approved, and the responsibilities for the, leasee to hold the $1 million insurance.
Sure, we've attached 2, so.
The 2
yes,
million.
Okay.
Okay, but that was you, is that going to be?
It'll be, with Wayne Hitchcock, everything will just continue on the same insurance.
Well, you've got 2, you're gonna have 2 lessees. I mean, you understand this. This is not an assignment straight out.
Right.
Yeah.
We're splitting up this
Yeah.
lease. And so a lot of things are gonna apply to both of them.
Yeah.
That right now are just one.
Yeah. So
I mean, this is the first time I've heard about this, so it's gonna take me some time to think
Yeah.
through this. I'm gonna have to draft 2 new contracts
Yeah,
right.
to come back to you all in November.
based on that, sort of what we've operated on is businesses are 2 million, individuals are 1 million. So yes, it's 2 million for Patriot, 2 million for Mac Air
But is it?
at minimum.
Two different
Yes.
businesses
That's
having to
correct.
have that insurance,
That's
not just
correct.
one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not your name any longer.
He's already got one covering him.
He does have,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. So, and then one thing I might add is I'm not sure whether it's on this amendment or another one about the rent, because I know this was brought to me once before about trying to get the rent payments in line with what the value is. And we went through this and I agreed to have an increase and then a percentage increase for 5 years or something like that, to bring us up to speed rather than just be all one thing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to continue that.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's what you're talking about,
Yeah,
alignment.
That's why we need this.
What's on the very back page of that
Okay.
2023, excuse me.
Uh,
We probably would keep those terms.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Is it fair to say it's a sense of the board that we would look upon this favorably when we have the amendments or the new leases prepared, that we could approve at the next meeting. Is
Yes,
that,
that would work for me.
Okay.
Yes, sir, that'd be great.
okay, great.
Yeah.
But so I can give them yes, okay. And
Yeah.
good deal, thank you.
Great, thank you.
You got one?
Thank you.
Take that official vote. I don't know if you had the official vote.
Well, can we vote on something we haven't?
I make a motion that we have Ginger to prepare, leases that, resemble what, the gentleman has presented before us today. It will be 2 leases that coincide with the current leases that he has running the same terms, just in different parties.
And we will have to make some adjustments for his use,
Correct.
that gentleman's use of
Yes.
avionics.
Yes.
There'll be some slight language change there.
And adopt the new insurance policies and stuff. I think this one here is still at $1 million, but
So, okay, I think that was originally what it was, but I think we got this.
I'm not sure it should be necessary, but for avionics, but.
But the reason we did this was because we work at other airports and they all have different, Tune's got 10 million. And I'm not sure we're not at 10 million because we look at Tune and all over. So we've opted to cover ourselves with other airports and we get permission to work there before we go.
Okay.
Okay, Lisa, you got all
Look
that?
at it.
I'm gonna read it to you. Make a motion for Ginger to prepare leases, 2 leases related to Mac Air's change of ownership and make adjustments related to the change of use in the hangars. How's that, Ginger?
Yeah, in one, but there's only change in use in
In
one.
one hangar.
Correct.
Mhm.
That's correct.
Hangar 6.
These are obviously available anytime you need to help you with the.
Just after, I'll get your information.
Sir, second to the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
This is easy.
Pass. Okay.
It's only 3 stooges.
Well, I realized a while ago, I only put down initials for who makes motions, and I realized a while ago, that's not working today. It's just you two,
We're both BC.
both BCs.
Aerial building update.
Yep, that is our modular office building here. That's going to be Hawkins and Motlow Aviation Education. We are waiting on power with Duck River. That's going to take a few more weeks. Hopefully we'll have an answer on if we can hook up to what's here or if they have to put a new pole, and it'll be, who knows how long to get the new pole. But so that's where we are on getting it occupied as we're working on power. In the meantime, we did what was the priority which was to make the outside look better, which is what you guys requested. And so hopefully y'all did check it out on the way in. The first thing we did was add skirting all the way around at the bottom to cover up our trailer wheels and frame and all that. Then we pressure washed it because it was just dirty. And then we added on this side, we added a really, really nice decking and stairs to access the 2 front doors. We've received lots of positive comments from lots of people, including some people in this room. So, but I would love to hear y'all, how you guys feel about where we are now. This is not all we're planning to do, but we did do everything we could in the last 30 days to make it look something we can all be more proud of. So thoughts on how it looks today?
But I'll add to that a little bit too, because they're also been working with the local landscaper down the road for the future landscaping that's coming, and there's still an addition of a wheelchair ramp to the back and things of that nature. So there's still an ongoing process. They're suffering through the fund that is utilities in this area, just like we are.
I think it's looking good.
I think it's looking better.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And unless y'all have any questions, that's all I had. It's gonna be a while. We're in there for these reasons. Motlow's been out and, we're planning to pipe the full motion simulator in there. But it's all gonna take a while.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Thank you.
Construction update.
So as you see, we don't have the consultant here, but I'll just give you a broad brush of what we've got going, because there's not a whole, the reason why he's not here is because there's the bigger projects, there's not much movement on it. The water project, they have installed all the 8-inch line across the front that you see. So they have also, with that project at MTSU's expense, put a T in on their property. So they're waiting. They were hoping to this week, if they haven't already. They might have, and just I haven't got today's update. pressure test that 8-inch line. We have also had a shut off that's been installed by our sign up there. So if you go by our sign and see that straw up there, that's what this from. It's a cutoff so that whenever any of these pressure tests are done or any of the stuff is being turned on, we will no longer be without water. So we'll still be able to get water coming from the other direction. So they hope to have that whole 8-inch line, as like I said, has been active. Hopefully the pressure tested and everything passed. I haven't heard anything different. They've had Bedford County Utilities been involved in the process the whole time. They've had an inspector on staff. So right now what they're doing is establishing all the necessary turns that they need to go down to what's now the 6-inch line that will be more on towards the runway and start digging that direction. You've probably seen a lot of that stuff hanging out there. They're also working on the connection that's coming back. So they're kind of working from two directions and they'll meet in the middle. This is kind of the scenario. So you're seeing some guys dig down here by the road at 231 where they're attaching. That's where it's going to loop back and connect. So you'll see the original connection that was down through there is staying there. And then the airports and that, what that does is keeps from having any collection of trash, anything of pressure issues that Bedford County is known for. Hopefully that will keep the pressure up for us to be able to make sure that the 4 fire hydrants that we are installing will be taken care of. But his hopes are to be out somewhere in the end of the month. Is what his hope is. December, going on a little bit more with construction. It's broader, December 3rd. There's been a groundbreaking established with MTSU for their new piece.
Yep.
Unless something's changed and I'm not been told of anything different, it's more of a media type release. It's not as much of a big, since we already had our big to do out here with the thing, it's more of a, setting up for photo ops and things of that nature to make it an official kind of groundbreaking.
Right.
I'm sure the mayor I know has been invited and other city council members and others to I guess put a shovel in the ground with a hard hat on. I don't know what all that's going to be
Yeah.
involved in that, but
Yeah, Dr. McPhee just called me. He wanted to get it in before the end of this year. And so I notified Scott and of course it came down to you too.
Okay.
But he wants to do December the 3rd.
yeah. So that'll be, and so we're making sure that was all cleaned up and everything as far as the water line. So that makes it nice and neat for them to set up there. We have, as you see, Randy Hooper, private hangar is underway. It has passed the first codes inspection as far as the plumbing and the site prep is concerned. What's next is concrete, which is coming in maybe today, but if not, then it'll be the beginning of the week for the concrete. And what they'll do is pour the concrete for the slab itself first. And then the metal's already here, so they'll just have to wait for that to cure. Once the building is erected, then they'll come back and add the ramp after the fact. Because he doesn't want all that torn up or messed up with guys coming in to erect the building.
Yeah.
So that's no delay. The other two hangars have gone through the building process as far as building permits are concerned. I haven't been able to get an update with Justin because he just got back. When did he come back? Like Tuesday maybe or something. So I don't know to see what he's been gone. So find out where they are. And Justin's been Justin Brady with the Twin Bonanza right behind you there has been the advocate for the other gentleman, for Mr. Nelson, because he's out in Colorado. So it's sort of been trying to work through a surrogate in that form. But as far as the other ones, we're still chugging away doing paper. So unfortunately, there's no other shovels that we can report on as far as that part is concerned, except for the fact that because of our multiple tenants, and I mentioned it briefly, we've added a cluster box out front. So for our mail, because we are getting more and more tenants. And so some of that will cover, because right now there's supposed to be at least three tenants, if not more, in the Aero building, plus what's here. So we got a box big enough for that. And so everybody will be able to have their own area. Make our postmaster's already approved everything. And so we're just waiting for blocks to come in from the post office.
Great. Anything else?
If you spoke and haven't signed my paper, please come and print your name so I can read it.
It wasn't too bad. All over it.